So we're going to go ahead and finish this out. I just want to kind of roll into ZBrush. So some of the things we've kind of started these kind of tips on here. This could probably be a little bit challenging to do this. I'm just going to kind of wait till we get into ZBrush, and probably a little bit easier to use the pinch tool to push this stuff down and so forth. So I'm going to kind of stop. One of the things I do want to try to do is possibly this gill area right here. It may be a disaster. We're definitely going to kind of sculpt this out in ZBrush. Maybe not perfect. Again, I don't have the fish here with me. So I just went to object mode, right click, and edge, insert edge loop tool. And I'm just going to give it some room here. Just grab these things, pull them forward. So I have a little bit of wiggle room for the gills here. And this is kind of weird because it's kind of happening right here. This fin is kind of happening underneath it. So it's a little tricky. Again, we don't have the fish here to kind of have the reference. I think this is more of a line of don't. Not really sure if this is a cut when it's breathing, but we're going to treat it. We're going to treat this as a gill right here. So I'm just going to move this around, move this way back. I'd love to cut that one more time here. Let's go ahead and do that. Insert. Again, I like simple geometry. I don't like adding too much, but we definitely need another vertex here. I'm going to go ahead and pull these back and hitting W. Pull that back. Again, it's messing with my flow here. It may add some wonkiness to it. Okay, so I'm just pulling this down, kind of echoing this gill here. Let's pull this down. It's quite striking, this part. Never seen this on a fish before. It's quite unusual. All right, so we're going to kind of do our best here. Again, I really want to save a lot of this for ZBrush. Again, a lot of texture is going to cover up our mistakes probably, but we'll try our best. All right, so what I want to do is grab these faces. I'm holding down my shift, and we're going to kind of extrude it out. All right, it's a lot of geometry to kind of extrude out, but you'll just bear with me, and let's see what we can do here. All right, so we're going to hit F, just make sure nothing else is selected around here. We're going to go ahead and shift, right click Extrude Face, and actually I'm going to just hit W and pull this out. All right, you start to see this is lifting out. Lifted out here in the front, which we didn't want, but that's okay. We're going to kind of work with this and flatten it out, okay? So we have extra geometry, but we're just going to kind of push this back and kind of flatten it out. Okay. Again, this takes a lot of years of practice and trying to figure out how to model this as best as possible. So just keep pulling this back, trying to flatten it out. And that head, I'm totally not cool with the way it's looking with that mouth and everything. So anyways, we'll work on the the topology of this a little bit. But now you can start to see that we have a little bit of edging here as part of our gills. And so this has geometry now. We can start to pull this back over the surface and starting to look like a gill now. So I'm going to push this down. Again, I don't know if that's really the gill that goes that far up or not. I'm gonna push this in, at least create an edge. So once we get into ZBrush, we have plenty of material to start sculpting. All right, I'm gonna push this up too, just thinking that the gill goes all the way up underneath. And again, it would be great if we had a fish here to kind of look at, even a fish not related to it. That way we could see if it's on the mark. All right, so a lot of it is wonky. I think that head is really bull nose looking. I think it's looks more like a mullet than a redfish, but anyways, we're trying our best. One of the things I want to do is also, probably offline, I may push that up, or maybe just do that in ZBrush. So let's just go ahead and stop. I'm really kind of tired of just kind of moving this all along in Maya. So let's go ahead and increment save. I'm going to turn off this back plate. All right, let's go ahead and get it ready, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off this grid. All right, and let's see what it looks like when we hit 3. Okay, so you can see a kind of a sharp gill line here. There's a secondary gill here, but I'm not going to create it. We can go in here and pinch this. We can push this in. Again, don't think we're going to get that technical. I think we just want to rig it where it's swimming so we can see below as a silhouette and so forth. But basically the textures are going to tell a lot of the show, and then we can work with the textures to sculpt it, and then go into Substance Painter and really start working with textures too, to kind of dirty it up and get a different look. All right, so I'm going to stop there with the modeling really quickly. I'm going to turn off the other side. You can see that we have a fish ready to go. So one of the things I want to do is go ahead and turn off this other side. I'm going to do a increment and save, but this side we actually want to get rid of, where it's not a real layer. It's actually just kind of not really doing anything. It's more of an instance. It's not a real duplicate. So what we're going to do now is do a duplicate special. This is the very end of the process. Instead of an instance, we do a copy. Again, we did a -1. I think we've shown that on the tutorial before this, how to create an instance, and we're going to do a duplicate special. So we want this to kind of hang together, and we want to kind of marry these things together. So we're going to go to mesh, and we're going to combine. Okay, so one of the things that we want to do is start welding these edges together. So we can go to edge, and we can hold shift, and there should be a merge collapse edges, merge edges to center. Let's see what that does. So that does not do it. So I'm actually going to go to my old method, is actually going through inside out, and I'm going to grab these vertices right here and hit F. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and shift and go merge vertices, merge vertex, and I'm basically going to weld it together. There's a welding tool that will do all those edges. I just like doing this. It's pretty quick since we don't have a lot of geometry. I'm hitting G to do the last task, which is welding those vertices together. You can also go throughout this whole fish and merge vertices that are all close together, but I'm just going to just do them one at a time. This is the way I do it. So sometimes it's helpful just to hit 4 so you're not accidentally grabbing other vertices. All right, I'm gonna hit F to get close there because it's getting